And welcome back to Top Dogs. We have a special guest with us today to help us talk about the culture of content creation. My name is Fiction Boy.
I'm Stream Archidad.
I'm Whiplash Wolf.
I'm Kit Clausen.
And I'm BonesCollie.
And you're wondering why we have Kit. He is going to be helping us with the questions today. This is a first experience try, and we're going to see how it goes. It's not just me moderating all the time now.
All right, so to open this episode, I wanted to ask all of you what made you want to start making content in the first place? Fiction, why don't we start with you on this one?
Well, I was going to suggest that why we start off with Bones since he's our guest.
Okay.
I mean, I'm patient. It's okay. It's okay.
Nah, let's put you on the spot.
Oh, okay. Actually, to be completely honest, right? I started content creation accidentally. I didn't really have any intention on being a content creator. It just sort of happened. I don't know if you want me to go deeper into that, but when I got involved in VRC, I thought it would be a good outlet to test some stuff, and I wanted to record just some talk videos, and then somehow I ended up on TikTok, and then it just kind of spiraled, and then I got stuck. So now I'm a content creator.
I was going to say, I would like to know a little bit more about the deep part of it, if you would like to elaborate that with us.
The deep part of it. So you mean like when I got started with like VRC and what have you?
Of course.
At the time, I wanted to create videos that would kind of spark conversation, because I'm really someone that likes to have real conversation with people, so I wasn't really a memer. But I wanted to like trigger some thought exercises. And when I created my first video, I put it on Twitter.
Sorry, that just stepped on my balls. Sorry. Again.
Okay.
You're fine.
Sorry,
and then I put it on, and then I put my first video on Twitter. Then I had a friend that said, you should try TikTok. And then I made my first video. I placed it on TikTok. And then it generated some views. And I got some comments. And I was like, wow, this is pretty cool. And then I created like a mini music video and, got a few more comments, put up a dance video. And then I got into the whole rotation of creating more and more and more, and then I started rolling into skits, things I found funny, and one of them went viral, which was like, oh, this is really cool, right? And then I did another one, and like the third one, that went viral, and then a chain started where it was just kind of creating a series of viral videos, and then I kind of got stuck because I started having more fun with it.
Okay. You want to go with, I almost called you Whiplash. Stream.
Again. So, I don't quite remember what exactly got me into doing content creation, but I really like the format. The short, quick flash content that was just funny and hilarious, and it got people into it. And also being able to see some really talented artists, singers, dancers, chefs, and stuff like that. And I thought that would be a fun experiment to give a try. And after making my first TikTok video, I really got hooked by it. I thought it was really fun. It's very addictive. I like how short the content is. It doesn't take too much time to produce compared to what I used to do on YouTube, making like 15, 20-minute videos explaining stuff I would build and make. The other thing is, when I saw that my character was really starting to catch on, I realized there was an opportunity for me to maybe start something in the long run, maybe not at first to build myself up, but eventually try to, make those wholesome videos and try to make some, the dad advice series. But it took a while before I got there because I really wanted to build like a sort of a community or a fan base or something like that. But I think it's addictive. Seeing the comment section, people reaction, the fact that you brightened up their day, you made them laugh a little bit, it felt really rewarding, and that's really why I'm really into it.
Whiplash?
Well, get into content creation. I mean, like I said before, it just kind of like happened. Like one day, like literally, you can ask my friends that I know personally. I was literally on the phone call with them one day. Something just like snapped up here. And I was like, one, I'm gonna stop being fat, and two, I'm gonna start making content, and I did. until I started making content. But I mean, I really enjoyed it when I did it, but it was just something that just happened. I feel like it's something when you make content, you don't really expect yourself to make it unless you really have that mindset to actually do it. Sometimes it just randomly happens, like it did with me.
I think for everybody's perspective, I think that is true for everyone that got to where they are now. It's not something that can be gained on purpose. All these things just happen by accident.
Yes.
And a little bit of luck.
A lot of luck, yeah.
I still remember my
There's
first
a lot of
video.
luck.
I did it in Bethesda, Maryland, in a hotel room.
In Bethesda, Maryland?
Yeah, that was where I did my first video.
That's an interesting point that you bring up. I was like, me and Colton used to live in Bethesda, Maryland apartments. So I'm like, that made my brain like, what?
This was like 2 years ago, like over 2 years ago, like beginning of 2021 when COVID was still like out there.
Okay, that makes more sense. And you had to come up with something while the peak of COVID was happening.
Yeah.
What got me into making content was not really expecting where this would take me. I went in there maybe just as green as everybody else. So when I did videos, I did not have an idea of where I was going to take this. My first video that I did, and it was the Call Me By Your Name video that was trending with Lil Nas X, where people were using his audio, and then when he was like falling down on that strip pole down to hell, and all you hear is the music, and then you just and then I'm just like, okay, I want to make a joke about watching Lil Nas calm down while I'm in hell because I'm a furry, and just watching him drop, and I'm and
I love that.
yeah, that was the idea. And so I was like, I thought that was kind of funny, so I went with that. It didn't blow up, but then I experimented what I could have done with the character of fiction, and people really gravitated towards the aggressive, positive nature that he brings to everyone. And that's what I enjoyed. Now I'm doing content based on memes, I guess, or I like to make people laugh, and now I'm just being my genuine dorky self on camera, because I know it's like an interesting transition to what I used to do. But I feel like it's more genuine if you're being yourself on content, because I think that's more better for the audience when you are being yourself, because then they're like, oh, this is the real fiction.
Right. Well, that actually leads us into our next question. What is your favorite type of content to create?
You want to start again, Bones, or do you want to go back directly towards me?
No.
Okay.
No, let's give it right back to you.
Yeah, we'll bounce back.
Okay. I would say, now that I'm doing what I'm doing now, which again I mentioned, I like to make dorky, mean kind of stuff now, because that's where I like to make people laugh and stuff like that. But I've also wanted to try some other things that I have mentioned many times. It's not just, TikTok content anymore. It's the show that we're doing now, which was awesome. And thanks to all of you guys for participating in this. It means a lot. And it's also me I mentioned in the book series many times on this episode. And that is the one thing I am putting a lot more into in the coming future, especially with, college is about to be over for me for a little bit at least. And I decided, in order to keep that drive going with content, I'm building my foundation with TikTok and here, building myself up and also building this community that we have, so I can, finish my book and then market it the correct way onto all the platforms and all that stuff. But I'm also taking a huge risk. Now, if you think about it, what is most furry media like? I'm asking this as a question to all of you. Now, so if you guys want to answer, feel free. But I want you to think, what is the most common furry media that you see?
Fursuits.
I was gonna say artwork.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, that. Like time lapse of artwork's true. That's a good idea. But you always see, like, especially on TikTok, is either one VR chat avatars, like either overplaying like sounds already on TikTok, or fursuiters just being cute at a convention, or people who are at their houses just doing it.
Kind of wholesome things, right? And when it comes to no, being cute is very wholesome. You know what I mean when I say that. But
Like we looked right at each other. It's like, wait.
That's true. But what I'm saying is that I'm taking a huge, bold risk with the content of the book series that I'm trying to create. It's going to be gritty. It's very adult. And it's like very dark. And that's what I'm trying to bring out. I know everybody likes the cutesy stuff, but I was like, maybe if I just bring something that most media or furries will not even touch. But in order to be, in my opinion, in order to be successful, you need to step out of that box sometimes in order for to grow. Yes, it's a huge risk and it could fail. But if you do take that, the risk is just as good as the high reward for it. And that's why I am taking my book to bring to a whole community, not just to us, but to people outside of it. Because you need to step out of your bubble sometimes in order to be bigger. Mm-hmm. And that's what I plan to do. So now that I'm writing stories, and I given it to stream. I gave him glimpses of.
Oh yeah. I like it because you don't have to be a furry to enjoy the story and this prologue and how you're building it. Yes, it has furry elements, but literally anybody that are not a lot of people that watch Zootopia, they enjoy the movie without being furries, and I think your book could exactly be the same. Your book could be the exact same situation here, and I think it's. I'm looking forward to what you'll come up with because so far I enjoyed what I read.
Yes, and I appreciate that, and I'll be sure to give you guys prologue in the future. But anyways, what about?
Yeah, I'm interested.
I'll show you the prologue, but for now, let's continue on. So let's continue on with the question with Bones, if that's cool.
Yeah. So I actually have two genres I go on. I'm strictly like videos. But there's two areas that I have a high interest in. So I started off with just funny skits, but really my following and community has grown based around content I pick out that's relatable. So a lot of my more popular videos that I put out have been, and this is my own trick. They tend to lean towards serious with a little bit of humor in them, but usually when I pick something to put out there, it's something that I'm feeling in that moment. So the tone of it can shift depending on where my mind was at the time I created it. Even there's one I put out today, which is going along the lines of how you deal in a relationship. You have a new relationship, and
it was really good.
I love that one so much. And it's this back and forth of, I'm starting this relationship, what should I do, what things should I be worried about? And it's basically playing off an inner monologue of, do you give yourself to someone, do you pull back, how close should you let them, should you push them away? And the reason that I love doing those type of videos is when you read the comments, it's people saying, yeah, I feel that, or yeah, I've been through that, or like, oh, this speaks to me. That makes it feel like I created something worth something. So that's usually the space I like to go into the most, is relatable content. But there is a second area that I'm going into that's kind of a step up from that, because I want to do have an interest in more cinematic sort of videos. So there's like a couple of creators that I'm paying attention to right now. Like there's one in the community that goes by Lucif. Amazing with how he puts together his videos and his cinematography.
He's really
it's
good
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, his site on that is amazing. But then there's also a couple of lesser known creators that I think are incredibly underrated. One that goes by Delirious Jax, which has a great eye for like mood settings with his scenes, and another that goes by Varel, who I got to work on a project with him, and his foresight and the way that he scripts and storyboards is something to be seen. Again, they're lesser known, and because of how TikTok is, because it likes, quick, short, funny, haha, here's a sex joke sort of thing, right? They get kind of buried in that because they tend to lean towards serious stuff. So I'm kind of want to help kind of bring up that sort of avenue as well, that it's not always the haha funny stuff, but you can have some more serious artistic stuff that comes into play. So that's the other space I'm trying to lean into right now. There's also a push that I'm trying to do right now where I want to try to boost up people with my platform that I've taken a liking to. I've kind of gained a little bit of a name for myself in the space that I found, and I kind of want to just support the other people that are trying to grow in the space. So, like how you said you want to branch out and grow and do something more. The area I want to give back is to somehow push those that are trying to set their foundations or start building their own platform communities and what have you. I want to stand behind them and kind of push them up. So I've been kind of supporting them a lot more, which my content creation has kind of gone slowed down a lot because that's where I've been behind the scenes a lot more, helping others, and I think that's where I'm strongest.
I kind of wanted to add on what you mentioned concerning those new young content creators that are kind of struggling to make it through because their material is much higher quality. They're a bit more serious, they're less funny. The one thing that is really important if you're trying to do the same thing is that you have to understand the platform you're posting on. Now, if you're trying to make like those really good quality videos, or you're trying to make singing or long dancing videos, TikTok should be used to advertise a snippet or a little clip, a condensed clip, like a preview of the full video that they can actually now post on YouTube. I know BioGods kind of does something like this. He makes like long short films and stuff like that. So he'll take a clip in TikTok, 30 seconds or less, and then watch the full thing there. And if you're somebody that wants to do that and post like singing videos or dancing, or you have like nice made movies that you're working on, my advice is, again, just do a little preview and then link to your YouTube video where people will go on the platform and actually spend time to watch and give you feedback and stuff like that. So don't be discouraged if you feel like your content is not working. Make sure you understand the difference between the two platforms and adapt yourself to it, and it'll be just fine.
Yeah. Can I add one more thing to that?
Yes.
Because all that is true. In addition to that, you got to maintain a fun factor too, right? You have to really enjoy. You have to really like what you're doing. You can't really let like success metrics dictate your product. You really have to have a passion for what you've done and actually be proud of what you put out there, and not let people kind of dictate its value.
What I also got to add to that is when you're trying to produce content on TikTok, you got to understand what kind of audience you're trying to show your content to. YouTube, people can definitely like put more time into watching your content, but when it comes to TikTok, everybody has a short span. So keep in mind of that, especially I'm telling this to, your friend that you're trying to help. He or she needs to understand that.
And that's what's good about them, is they do. We've had this conversation in the past before. And that's, I guess, another thing with the stuff I make. I'm kind of an anomaly because I started off making long form content. I'm not one of the creators that generally does like the 10-second clip and switch. I've actually managed to build a platform on longer form content. And there's a couple of other creators too that have been successful about that on TikTok. But the thing about it though is, to your point, that's uncommon. It's really hard to hold someone's attention for that long. Usually have like 15 seconds and then they're moved on.
Which brings back what I was saying earlier. Like, you have to really understand the platform. You got to understand that like TikTok, you got to think like an ADHD person. If you don't catch the attention within the first 2 or 3 seconds and your video is more than 15 to 30 seconds, the probability that will swipe will happen very likely. Usually when I'm waiting for clients and I don't know when they're going to come in at any moment, I'm going to be on TikTok. But if I'm on lunch break and I'm eating, I'm using both my hands, I'm not going to use TikTok because I have to use one hand to scroll. So I'll watch YouTube videos. that's usually my way of going. So try to punch right at the beginning of your video with something what is going to be interesting, then talk about it during the content.
What about you, Whiplash? Been quiet over here.
I'm trying to think.
What's your favorite?
I'm trying
What's
to
your
think
favorite content to create?
I mean, it just really depends. I usually try to go for the goofy ones, or like when I first did it, or when I did do it. Always try to make it goofy content because goofy content is usually the most fun, and also ones that's like, you know, relatable to people sometimes. But it was just goofy, and of course, when I started doing VR chat, it was like lewd. It was very suggestive, that stuff.
Guilty.
I mean, look, my first video that just exploded was me doing the haha bottom top joke. Now, don't get me wrong, this was like back in September 21. I didn't really see, now I'm not trying to say I started a trend or something, but I didn't really see top bottom jokes made by furries in 21, unless it was like very subtle and not used that much. But afterwards, fuck, there were so many.
It's all over.
Oh God.
Bottom shaming, stuff like that.
Yep.
Yes.
And to be honest with everybody,
Alright.
just so you know, he's just joking.
Yes, of course.
Oh, of course.
Humor. It's comedy.
Mhm.
Me personally, the thirst traps are fun to do. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they're really fun, and seeing how people react in the comment section is just hilarious to me. But I don't want to be just seen for my thirst trap content. It's a good way to build. It was a good way for me to get started, get really excited about the platform. But doing the memes is always the fun things. I would like to do more hashtag relatable content because those are also very popular. It's either you do like meme-ish and goofy things, or you do like relatable stuff. But in the end, doing the wholesome content is really fun. My Dad Vice series is something I've been enjoying a lot. Now, they're not getting as many views, but the comments are absolutely golden. They're totally worth the lack of views or like, but I've had people that sent to me private messages that were very inspired by some of my Dad Vice videos, and to me, it made the whole journey worth it. Just one person just bringing in one comment, just makes the whole thing fun. I would like to do more dancing and singing videos. I've done one of each, and I've absolutely enjoyed them. I had great comment and feedback on it. But again, it's important that if you're going to be dancing or singing, you try to keep it within 30 seconds as much as possible so that you don't get swiped and moved on. So finding that right balance is kind of difficult. And to me, if I'm a new singer, making just a 15-20 second clip of singing is like the perfect way to get started. So yeah.
Okay. So our next question here is, what are some pros and cons of collaborating with other content creators?
Oh,
The Whiplash race first.
Okay. You're excited about
Whiplash
this
is
one.
ready.
Well, to be fair,
Go for it.
Stream said this earlier, but when you collab with someone, usually it's, you know, because you've talked to the person previously before and you enjoy being with them, enjoy their videos, or you've hanged out with them or talked to them either VR chat, Discord, Steam, vice versa. It could be whatever. But sometimes, a lot of times, you're not going to get someone who meets your expectations or meets your energy for the video itself. And that was my problem, is because my energy was wild. It was wild. And I couldn't really find many people like that. So it was, I had fun when I did it, but it was like, oh god. Because at the same time, is like, I don't like being a dick. I don't be like, no, that was shit, retake. I was like, that was good. I'll put it, we'll use that one.
That was pretty harsh on Kit. So there's a video that's going to be posted shortly. But I did a video with Kit, and he was like, "Oh no, I don't want to do this." I'm like, "Put more energy into it. You have to be scared. You have to be freaking out." It took us a few days before he got it. He's like, "I don't know how to explain this differently," but I was like, "I'm going to be harsh on you, But it's just, I don't want to waste time. Like, yeah, it was good, but no, just straight to the point, and it's gonna be great. I trust you. And he ended up delivering something wonderful, and I'm looking forward to posting that video because it's funny.
And we had fun. I didn't take it personally because it was your video. It wasn't my video. So I had to rise to those expectations, and I'm not accustomed to making videos like you guys are. So that was a first for me. So I was giving it my best. It took me a bit to find that groove, but once I found it, it was great.
Oh, it was really good. But it was your idea. I'm making the video, but it was your idea.
See,
Well,
but there's something here though that you just said, and I guess this is my turn to answer the question, right? Is when I'm working with other content creators, I don't really see that as my project. When I pull other creators into my space or anybody that's helping me with a video, I see this as a group project. So I'm looking for them to like weigh in on it. I want them to be excited about it. And when I produce it, it's like I want you to be happy with it. So I always see it as kind of like a project. I never see it as mine. I always kind of see it as a group thing. So that was interesting when you had said it was his video. I don't see it that way. It's like you're in it. It's your video too.
That's fair.
Like, he just said like, oh, stream, I have this idea for you. I'm like, well, since you have this idea, you're gonna be in it. And I sent him the sample video. If like, I want to make sure that he approves of the video, make sure he's comfortable with it. He was like, dude, it's flawless. I love it. That's great. All right. Okay, cool.
Here's your thumb.
Sorry,
that could be taken out of context. I'm just saying. So to add on to what Bones was saying about, it's everybody's video. It's a equal opportunity collaboration. That's the way I like to see it. And yes, you have different opinions. You have different viewpoints of how they think it could be better, and you have your own. And I get that. Sometimes mixing these personalities can be hard sometimes if they don't work well with chemistry. And that's what people need to consider when you're working with other content creators. Like, if I was to do a video, let's say Barty, for example. Now, his content is very top quality, and he is good at delivering like very catchy things within a few seconds. Where mine is it takes more time to develop the joke. His is pretty much just instant, and he knows what he's trying to do. So it's not that I don't think we could have done something together. It would just need to be discussed a little bit more.
Yeah, which is fair. Absolutely.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel and hit that notification bell. When you hit that notification bell, it will notify you with our latest videos and our shorts. Another thing you do is follow us on our audio platforms and leave us a rating, as this will help us out a lot. Join our Discord and our Telegram chat. Links for all of these are in the link tree down below in the description.
Calling all of our Top Dogs fan, you want some cool stuff? You can by subscribing to our server subscription on Discord or Patreon. Become a podcast supporter today to get exclusive, raw, and uncut footage of your favorite podcast episodes, join supporter meetups, and talk with the podcast team and other podcast supporters. Plus, get a custom-made paw emoji and other goodies that come with our $2.99 a month subscription. But wait, there's more! Upgrade to the Podcast Supporter Plus and get episode voting, supporter feedback, and be part of the live audience for $5.99 a month. Plus, get sneak peeks of upcoming ideas, merchandising, and more. You don't have to join these subscriptions, but it does help us out a lot, and for everyone that has subscribed, thank you so much from the bottom of our heart.
That's a lot of pluses.
Yes, a lot of pluses.
What is Whiplash doing?
Yeah. Wait.
Hey, Whiplash, what are you doing? Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Better go subscribe. You better donate. Otherwise, I'm gonna come to your house. I'm gonna shoot your AC condenser.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
You know, it's wintertime.
replace.
You wait till summertime. You wait till summertime.
Oh my gosh.
That's horrible, man.
Our question of the week this week was, do you get nervous or overly excited when you meet a content creator you're a fan of. So we got a lot of responses for this. So I had to just pick just a couple of them. So Lazarus Alistair says both. The excitement of being in the same room with them, but the nervousness to actually go up and say hi. It's a lot for him.
Just keep
but
in
then
mind,
Trick,
just keep in mind that we are ordinary people, just like you are.
yeah. Well, that's what Trick the Stick said. They said they don't really get nervous or overly excited. They don't like putting people above others. They respect their creative skill, but they're just another person just like they are. So that reminded me a lot, Bones, of the first time you and I met. I don't know if you remember this. You were hanging out with Arden Wolski, who has been on the podcast in the past, as well as a couple of other content creators. And I joined the world to hang out with him. And when I walked in, I looked up and I'm like, oh, that's BonesCollie. I follow him on TikTok. Do you remember what everyone in the room did when I said that?
Oh, I hated this. Yeah, everyone. As
I'm
soon as you
interested
did it,
now.
I was like,
Everyone in the room, they were, oh my god, BonesCollie. Oh, I love you so much. You're so great. Oh,
I felt so gross.
Let me add to that. Let me add to that. They must really love Bones.
God.
Oh my god.
apparently,
So-
it was an inside joke.
Yeah. So what happens is every time someone comes up and says, "Are you BonesCollie?" Then they go, "The Bones? Oh, can you sign my left cheek?" And they just go into weird stuff. They just start saying really weird stuff. It's so bad every single time.
So in relation to that, what does it make you feel like whenever you do meet your fans?
Well, it's okay. It's kind of been touched on already, and I'm actually going to use a recent story. It was actually an up-and-coming content creator that said he was inspired because of seeing my work alongside others. And he was just, I did a video with him, and he was just like antsy, and it's like, man, this is such an honor. And the more he said that, the more I was like, hold on. And I stopped him and said, it feels like you're putting me on a higher pedestal. I don't like that. I really don't like that. So when it comes to like being my fan and stating that, I actually always try to bring myself back down to where they are, because I just want to be treated as just another person, and I'm just doing this for fun. I don't want to be seen as anything higher than you. So the fan dynamics, as soon as it comes up, I try to bring it back down.
Yeah. What about you, Whiplash?
Let's see, over the years I did this. It was, anytime you met someone who knew you, it was an honor, honestly, meeting people like that. Like, because, I mean, so in the long run, all you are is just some person on the internet who's just making videos because you want to. You just want to entertain someone. You just want to make their day better. You just want to be able to bring joy to them whenever you can. And then just to have someone just, if you go to a public world, which I don't think many of us do that anymore because of this game, but you go to a public world like any of the furry worlds, and someone would recognize you, and then they would freak out, and you just, it would be an honor, like, having someone like freak out that much over you just because you're just a random person who does, that they follow, that they admire on the internet because they enjoy your content. And if they get to meet you, it's just like, it's a heartwarming experience, to say the least. And most of the people I have like actually like known who are content creators, anytime like we had a conversation like, look, if you want to collab sometimes, I don't mind collabing with you. I do all this for fun. I do nothing else for just make for fun. I don't do this for money. I don't do this for fame. I never did this for fame in the first place. It was all for fun. That's just something that randomly happens if you get lucky enough. but I just did it for fun. So I've always enjoyed like collabing with, people who knew me and they wanted to do content creation because of the creators they follow, like me or other people they may follow, that inspire them to do it. And it was a great experience. What are you two talking about over there?
Nothing. Like we don't know.
We didn't say nothing.
You did look kind of guilty, not gonna lie.
Next.
I know you're like, yeah. Look.
I'll let Kid decide.
All right. Well, Fiction, why don't you go next then?
When I meet my fans, and I think what I enjoyed the most about it, it's not the pedestal, but what you do is what matters to them. Based on your own actions, based on what you're trying to deliver is what matters to me. And I take more enjoyment out of that than just being, yeah, I am the shit. Because I think what comes down to, if you really were like doing your best to make sure that your delivery of whatever you're doing, whether it's music, TikTok, YouTube, writing a book, or tweaking cool experiments and all those things, and you get noticed for that kind of work, it's probably what matters the most, because that's why they liked you in the first place. Not because of the name, but what you're doing is delivering enough content and quality in your work. That's why, when I'm writing the book, it's not just like, oh, I just want to write a book. But you know how many times I had to redo like the prologue or redo videos that I didn't think were good enough? That is what makes me happy, is that knowing that I went back to make sure that it was good and it was delivered good. And things can always be better.
Oh, yeah.
And when you're very content with that and you put it out there and you realize you're getting those views, you're getting those heartwarming compliments, and they are making people's day and making you feel like...
Oh, we can't hear yourself echo. Kit.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not even saying anything.
It's fine.
It's reverberating through you.
Yeah, you need to lower your headset volume.
Yeah.
Yeah, should be good.
Okay. Back to what I was saying. When you go back into doing whatever you're doing, you just make sure that, the delivery of what you're doing is giving people hope that they can do it themselves. Because, anything worth having is never easy, of course, but I think what matters is how much hard work you put into it. And that's what I try to do going forward in my future of what I'm trying to do. Giving people hope that you're not limited to just the community, but you can go outside of the box.
Stream?
Me, I'm not gonna lie, when I have somebody that walks up to me and recognizes me and, talks to me about my content, I always feel kind of grateful that they appreciate the stuff that I do. I just love entertaining people. I love being a goofball. I love being a himbo. I mean, I had my fair share of like goofs and mistakes I've done in this show, and it made me look like an idiot, but it made people laugh. To me, it's worth it. If I'm able to bring some sunshine and make your day feel a little bit better, to me, my mission is accomplished. I kind of see myself like as a DJ at a venue. I don't put music to make me dance. I make people to make the crowd dance. And if the people are having a good time, then I'm having an absolute blast, and I know I'm doing my job right, and I enjoy doing it. As simple as that. And once, when I talk to the person, I always, once like their excitement, they calm down a bit. I'm like, I'm just a guy, you and I are just the same person. I'm just a guy making content on the internet. And I try to make myself as available as much as possible. I know I had content creators that I really looked up onto, and I wish I could have reached to them, but they're very difficult to get to. I try to make myself available. Like, I don't have a lot of time, but I try to make myself available, and everybody that has requested to do a video with me, I've never refused them. I've always accepted them. They just got to work with my tight time schedule, but otherwise, seeing people, making them feel better, have a nice day, to me it feels amazing, and I'm grateful for the opportunity, and I'm having a blast doing it. Oh yeah, as simple as that.
Well, I feel like I already know the answer to this question, but how do you all feel about the term popufur?
Can I start?
Yeah.
So popufur.
The collective sigh.
Yeah. So the root of the name popufur is not a bad thing. It's not a bad word. It's a popular furry. It's a short. There's nothing wrong about it. The problem is that this word has been associated to people that were very self-centered, self-absorbed, or narcissistic people, which gave it a bad reputation. Same with the word fat. We say that fat is a bad thing. Well, you know what? I like fat. I like a little curvy men. I like little love handles. I think they're cute and adorable. But society has always been telling us being fat is bad, skinny is better, you should lose weight. You know, it's the same thing. It just has a negative connotation to it.
To add on to
What do you think?
my perspective is a little interesting. So, with the term, everybody has a different opinion. It could be both positive or negative. And I wouldn't say that the term popufur has a true definition, because each person has a different perspective of what it means. That's the way I see it. Now, from my personal opinion, I do not care if people use that word to describe something, but if you're using it to be a negative term to put someone out, and that's your intention, then I don't find that, good. So just keep in mind that term doesn't really have a true definition. It's based on how you think it is.
Okay. I heard both of you groan over here when I said it. So which one of you wants to start?
Go ahead.
Look at those two gentlemen.
I just hate the way it sounds, even though it does, to me, it does sound like it carries negative, it sounds like it carries, negative meaning with the word, because anytime I've ever heard of, the word poppy fur, everyone's like, oh, he's a poppy fur. It always sounds like such a, negative concept, I can't think of the word, but yeah, that's how I see it. But also, I just hate the word so much. I honestly just someone call me a poppy fur, I just walk over to the ledge and just fall over just to get away from it.
Well, dang, Whiplash. A little bit extreme, don't you think?
No, not
Okay.
at all.
I suggest we replace this bad word, popufur, by what my friend Larry Lazuli said, popular. We start with a new term. Fresh start.
Oh.
I just thought you were bad.
It's just as cringy.
Oh. I had to think about that a second. All right. Oh, my turn. Okay, I'm with Whiplash. To be completely honest, it's the word itself is not a bad word. It's just the way that people use it, right? Right. So normally when you hear popufur used, it's generally something negative. So because of how language works, the more negative connotation it has, the more it adopts, then it just becomes a bad word in general. For me, if I'm called a popufur, I'm a little dismissive of it. Yeah, sure. But I respond with, I'm not really popular, I'm just well known. And I actually mean that when I say it. So a lot of people know me, but I'm not the person that has I'm not surrounded by just people that are just trying to get my attention. It's just a lot of people know me. They think I'm a cool dude, so I'm popular. It's hard to explain. I'm just well known. I'm not exactly popular. People aren't flocking to me that way.
You're popular.
Popular.
Oh God.
That was one. You know what?
I'm going to be laughing my butt off.
Poppy fur is still worse. I don't care. Poppy fur is still worse.
Poppy fur is still worse.
Poppy fur is still worse. It's so much worse.
Or we can be Papa first.
Oh my fucking god.
I know, I like that one. I'm for this one.
Yeah.
I'm on board with that.
No, I just, it's just the way they said it. Oh my god.
Instead of popular, me and him would be considered the Popifers.
I'm just a
Run
Himbleford.
it. Run
I'm
it.
a Himbleford. That's all I call it.
Honestly, sometimes people they come up to me like, "Stream, what should I call you?" I'm like, "You can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me a shit face. Otherwise, I don't mind."
I love it.
Whatever you do, don't call me a daddy. I will turn it. I'll do a complete 180.
I got used to it. I
I'm
got
just
used
kidding.
to it.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I want to do a complete 180 on you. It's just like, I find it, I'm just like, from my perspective, it's just kind of weird when 30-year-olds are calling me that and I'm only 27.
It's in the vibe, the energy.
It is.
I mean, you understand, we give off the vibes of a father, to say the least, as Andreas would put it. Actually, no, Andreas calls me a father. You guys are daddies, apparently.
I was supposed to be a father. Just the plan failed.
I mean, okay, not legit father, like, I have, like, father energy, like, you know, a New Balance Corvette owner. You have, like, actual daddy energy.
It's funny because I would have flipped those terms around. To me, daddy has a more sexual connotation, and like father is more like taking care of me, giving me advice, making sure that I'm succeeding in life, you know. Or dad or father to me is very. But I've heard the word daddy as a sexualized term so often that I'm like, okay, whatever. I'm not so sure.
I mean, bottoms ain't screaming daddy.
Hey, to be fair, we have no, and just to clarify, we have no anything to do with this, but we call Sakura Mama all the time, and there's nothing that happens. So
she's a mother to us
friendly
all.
name.
But she's a mother to us all, though. We are her children.
I'm sure it feels that way sometimes.
Why is that?
I mean, she's absolutely.
I can see her nodding in the background.
I mean, she does have a mama role. How many times she came up to us and gave us like advice and stuff to make sure that we're making good content. Sometimes she's harsh on us, like me, Whiplash, and Fiction. She's harsh on us, but she wants us to succeed. She wants us to do well. So she perfectly fits the role of mama. You know, it's
Yeah.
it's quite suitable.
She's the stage mother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
I find it adorable when people come up to me and call me Pop. I'm like, oh, you're too sweet. Good boy. Give it that.
To be honest with you, I feel like she's harder on me. Yeah, but let's go on.
It's because you started it. It's your baby. That's why she's so harsh.
Yes.
Well,
also.
All right.
Well, so I feel like you guys have already. I feel like you guys have already sufficiently answered this next question, so I'm gonna flip it around from my perspective. So when I joined this podcast team, I was just a listener. The first time I met all of you, I was just a listener. I wasn't even part of the team yet. But you guys brought me on stage after my husband passed. You guys were so warm and for me. I wanted to give back to this show, and the community that was there for me. So I was a bit starstruck at first, to be honest. I'd been watching you guys since episode 1. And when I came on stage, and I'm like, oh my god, that's Fiction. Oh man, that's Whiplash. That's Stream. I had to tell myself, all right, calm down. They're just people. You don't need to be starstruck. They're just people like you. And then now here I am. I am just like one of you. I'm on camera sitting next to you.
You're in the middle seat, man.
Oh, it's so wholesome.
Oh,
So wholesome.
So yeah, it's
beautiful.
You know, our listeners, they need to remember that too. We're all just like that. They are. We're not special. We do this because we want to.
We're just a bunch of himbos that make content on the internet. Nothing more.
And you didn't even have to be here, and yet you joined.
Yeah, I wanted to. I spend most of my time behind camera. because I don't have to be the center of attention or the star of the show. That's just not who I am, but I'm happy to contribute.
Now, we will say this, you know, we all have our ups and downs. And sometimes it does take, you know, getting our point across in the most respectable way that we can. Like, yes, where I've had moments with you, I've had moments with everybody else on the team, and we all had our flaws. But I think it is awesome that you guys still stuck around, and then we learned from our experiences that, you know, that were pretty bad, and we flipped it around to be better.
I mean, it's all about communication. It's so important. What the hell are you doing, Whiplash? Where's your hair?
Oh God, that's cursed.
I'm trying to be wholesome. And, oh my God, no ears.
Oh no!
Ew.
Oh.
Ever since
That was funny.
Oh my gosh.
I completely lost my train of thought. Oh yeah, I was saying that communication is such an important thing, and we never communicate enough. And I'm glad we got this going, and we had rough times, but it's the fact that we plowed through those difficulties and we're still here, still making this show. I'm so proud of what we're becoming, and I'm grateful to be on this show because this has been quite the journey. It's amazing. Thank you so much, Fiction, for inviting me here.
Of course. Now, I don't know where we're going to be in the next 5 or 10 years, but I'm hoping, you know, wherever path you guys go down and you look back on where we are right now, I hope you all have success in whatever paths you go down.
I'm sure we'll still be friends.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we will. Who knows? Maybe we'll still be doing this show for 5 or 10 years.
I'm kidding.
Steven will be the gray. Was it the gray muzzles? What's it called?
The gray muzzles. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already feeling
A
it.
gray muzzle out to 30.
I'm starting to feel it a little bit. I'm turning 32 next week. Oh.
I have 1 year. and
I'm a year
5 more
ahead
months
of you.
to 30.
Yeah.
Sakura's back there pointing at herself.
That's why she's mommy to us.
She's the mama.
Well, I mean mother.
She's the mama
mother
gen.
to us. I can't say mommy
Yes.
because mommy has also been taken by.
You know what she gives? What?
That's why
No,
I said
she-
mother.
She comes off as, to me, as that one Resident Evil chick.
Wait,
What?
what?
Claire what, Phil?
Which one?
Yeah, which one?
Are we talking Claire, Jill?
The recent one.
Are you talking about the
Resident Lady
You know
Dimitrescu.
what?
I mean,
Wait,
I mean,
Maggie
her breasts are the same
Antoinette?
size.
Oh, the Lady Dimitrescu.
Yes, that's
Oh
her.
my god, yeah, oh my god.
No.
I love that character so much.
I mean, she's got the same
Ethan.
form, she's got the same height, and she's got the same size breasts. So yeah, it makes sense.
Oh my God.
Sakura, next only you need a Lady Dimitrescu outfit on your mama, Jen. That would be
That's an
so
idea.
goddamn
That is
cool.
such a good idea.
No, that is so good. That's a great idea.
At least the hat. I have just a giant ass hat.
I think that concludes today's episode. Yeah. You want me to end it off, or do you want to?
Yeah,
Okay.
you can wrap it up.
Okay, that concludes today's episode. Thank you guys, and we'll be making another episode next week. Now, I do want to add one more thing. We're going to be taking a break during December, but don't worry, we're going to have a Christmas special, and we have big plans for season 3. So keep in mind about that. We're not going to reveal everything, but you'll see what we have in mind in the future. So stay tuned and have a great night.
Good night, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Good night. Bye bye.
Remember, popular.
Pop.
Yeah, don't.
That's a wrap. I'm done.
Or no one coming to walk off the edge.
Oh my God.
I swear,
Popular.
if this takes off, I'm gonna laugh my butt off. It's gonna be great.
That was so good.